everybody. I almost forgot this melody. It's a wonderful Greek piece that I composed when I first started learning Greek music many years ago. And today I'd like to share a little story about how I got into learning Greek music. I mean, besides liking it for quite a long time, I got to discover. Well, first there was this musician, I should say. Sorry for the the way I'm organizing my ideas. There was this wonderful artist that I always liked a lot called Ross Daly. Some people say Ross Daly. Don't know, Ross Daly, we call it. And I always admired his music a lot and the way he was playing, but in general, the whole energy around him and his projects and all that, yeah. So finally, I found out I could go and study with him and all the artists that work with him. So I traveled all the way to Greece to have my Greek experience and also stay there for a while. I spent quite a lot of months before, learning Greek and everything. Didn't get too far, but I learned. And this guy Ross was one of my inspirations to actually go there and visit him and everything that he was doing and learn. So I started taking lessons, meeting a lot of people there in Greece, a lot of musicians as usual. I always mention you learn from teachers, but there are just so many people that teach you things when you are there. They don't have to be the greatest musicians, but just local musicians who also know how to do their thing and know their tradition and things like that, yeah. But if there was something I will recall that was very, 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 very important that I learned there, and that was from Ross, is this was actually a little bit later on, after several years studying Greek music and also continuing studying my Turkish music and Arabic and Indian, because you never end. So even though I say I was here studying that, doesn't mean I just went and studied everything and then went to another place. No way. It takes many lifetimes. So I remember after some years, has been some years already studying all this music, and I got there to Greece. And I was starting to get a little frustrated in a way because I felt like the way I was learning was not 100% flowing. Not to say that it's never as fast as you would like to learn, but I don't know, I felt something was, there was something that I needed to unlock to really flow and learn more from the heart and not so much from the brain, yeah. It was tricky, and in general it's tricky because when you're somebody from the West and you're learning Eastern music, there are a lot of things that you need to, let go, give up, whatever you want to call it, in order to really embrace the new ones. So I remember in one lesson I went there, was a course on composition, on modal music composition. Well, modal meaning more Eastern tradition composition. It was with this man, Ross Daly, and he came to class. This was the first lesson, was several of us students, and he came, sat down in the class, and out of the blue, just talking. It was just like, I don't know, it was like if he would have been reading my head, for the last several months, sat down and started talking to everybody, explains, with his humble voice, like, oh, the man was already back then, I think it was like probably on his 70s or close, and he was like, learn all these moral traditions, living in India, learn Sanskrit and the languages from there and Hindi and, been to Iran, Persia, play with a lot of Afghani musicians, and Turkish, and he speaks Turkish and all these different languages, and he's been in all these different places, and he worked with the finest musicians of those places. Bottom line, and he's like, and I read almost every book written about all these subjects, in this music, and I'll tell you one thing. If you really want to learn this music, the best you can do is just listen to a lot of it and just play. And for me it was like, because for so long I've been like really dealing with, this is too complicated, too many theories, and theories are not totally correct, never, and things like that. And maybe in Western music theories apply well, but in this type of music, I don't know. And I felt like, for several months I've been feeling like I just want to let go of everything and just listen to the music and play, and don't think about how it's done, why it should be, or why is the way it should be. And suddenly this man, who to me is one of the most knowledgeable person in all these styles on the face of on earth, and he says this thing, and for me it was like the confirmation of what I was feeling. And suddenly I felt like whatever it was waiting to unlock inside of myself finally unlocked, and I felt free and flowing with the music. And since then I've been learning so much better and so much faster in a more enjoyable way. So I wanted to sit down here and share some stories about how I started learning Greek music, but I just went into this particular moment. But I think it's key, that you should hear the story, because really many times you will feel things when you're learning or when you're trying to move forward, and you might think that because the whole mainstream is doing things in a way, it shouldn't be done in another, and you never know, yeah. So just follow your intuition and your heart, and like I said, bottom line, just play, feel, yeah, enjoy. Bye now.